Hi, welcome back. Sarah Mack here, your host of the Creative Magic Club podcast. And side note, Instagram kicked me off and disabled my account. So I started a new account, which I have named in the honor of this wonderful podcast. So you can now find me at Creative Magic Club. So please do come over and connect with me there, and where I share more of the behind the scenes of my business and the podcast. Like today, I snapped a really cute picture of my cat Leo, who was all up in my grill while I was trying to start recording. And it was so cute. I'm going to share it over there. And now I'm covered in cat hair. So I also wanted to remind you, if you haven't already downloaded my social media post that sells free PDF template, please head over to withsarahmack.com under the freebies section to sign up for that. So many people have been using it to put out social media content that leads to sales from dream clients by authentically sharing your story. So definitely go and grab that if you haven't already. And I'm excited to share this story with you today about how I first started hitting 5 figures in my business with only 200 people on my email list. And I think my story is amazing proof that it's not about your audience size, it's about what you do with it. So I'm going to share some behind the scenes of how that panned out for me, why it worked, what I was doing, and what I have seen to be the principles that have led to 5-figure months, multi 5-figure months, and consistently making money in my business since it was 2017 I started my coaching business, and it was 2018 January, which was my first 5-figure month, which was actually a 20K month, because I actually brought in 10K from revenue from my copywriting services, and I brought in 10K from my coaching services. So I was very surprised when that was my first 5-figure month. And I'm going to share a little bit about my journey to reaching that milestone and what worked for me. So, really the thing that has worked for me off the bat has been thanks to my background in copywriting, and the fact that that was, my first entrepreneurial adventure when I was out in Bali, and I was invited out there to help my friend with the social media for her online. She was a doctor and creating content for people who had IBS and gut health issues. So I was helping her with her social media content, with her website. And that's where we together uncovered this skill that I had for helping people put things into words. And that's really how my copywriting career began. And so I knew the principles of sales copy, right? Like how to structure a story, how to tell the story of a product or service to really resonate with the right people and lead directly to sales. This is known as direct selling copywriting, which means that when people have finished reading it, what it leads to is a direct action, and that action is a sale. So this was really the foundational skill and principle on which I based all of my actions in my business, because it was really all I knew about business. And, for me, I also love to create content, and telling authentic stories is just something that I really value and has always been important to me. So it was important for me to share my authentic story using these copywriting principles in a way that I knew was impacting others and also leading to sales with the programs that I knew would have a positive impact on other people's lives. So that was really like the building blocks of the foundation that allowed me on my own, with no capital, no investment, just my willingness to put myself out there for free on social media in organic content day after day after day, and really refine my messaging around what I was selling and who I was speaking to, and launching programs and figuring out that whole thing. So the other piece that really changed things for me was choosing to launch high ticket offers. And, that was something that came out of my desire to be hitting 10K months. And, it felt I'd been working a lot on my money mindset, on raising my rates and, positioning my packages in a way that was no longer based on time for money, but based on value and results. And that's really what led me to launch my first high ticket coaching offer, which was focused on artists, which was focused on mindset. And I sold 3 spots in those, and I charged 3,500, I believe, or 3,000 pay in full. And then payment plan was 1,000 a month. I think it was 3,500. And yeah, 3 people signed up for that. And it was super easy and super fun. I put up a basic sales page on Squarespace that had terrible formatting, but had a really good message. And I created a PDF of journaling prompts, which I delivered each week. So that was also really fun for me to discover that I could create a program once and then continue to sell it and continue to make the same amount of money from it without doing that work over again. So I created 12 weeks of content of journaling prompts, PDFs that would guide people to a specific level of clarity in the journey that I was supporting them through. And then we would have 1 coaching call every week. So, at that point, I wasn't even teaching any of my copywriting skills. It was nothing beyond the mindset work that had changed my life and changed my business and helped me to massively increase my income and my freedom and my health all simultaneously. And that I was translating to working with people who wanted creative freedom in different income streams, from, writing and being an author, to like editing work, to supporting artists to launch, new fields and work, like as one of them was doing like sculpture and like visual art displays. So I had a real diversity of people that I was working with. I was absolutely not as specific in my messaging as I am now, but it was good enough. And I was not selling 5-figure month results. I had not had one up until that point. I was not selling 6-figure years. And it was really focused on the foundational money mindset work that had, got me from charging $5 an hour or $5 a gig on freelance websites to earning, $5,000 to $7,000 a month through my copywriting services, through my business that I had launched, Juicy Copy. And the tools and the skills that I continued to work for me, but just really like up leveled them to make that jump to 5-figure months, was doing the money mindset work every day. Like I'd been doing that every day for a while, which is how I'd already doubled my income once. I went from 25K the previous year to 50K that year. And then the preceding year would end up being a 6-figure year for me. And the way that I did that is by focusing on money mindset work every single day. I would journal out my 10K a month goal and all of the feelings of how good it would feel when I'd already received it, what it meant to me, how it felt. And I journaled it out, I think like 10 to 20 times every day for several months in a row. And then it finally came about and it happened. And then obviously taking aligned action, really showing up and taking action every day, following my intuition and my hunches around what felt aligned for me. So obviously launching a high ticket coaching program was a very aligned action for that goal. And that was one of many things, including showing up every day on social media, emailing my list, and emailing and posting daily, sharing my story, also really living in integrity with my dream life and business, and really like collapsing time and bringing it into the now, which basically means I was doing everything that I could to live the life that thought that 10K months would give me in terms of what it is that I desired. So rather than putting it in the distance as something that would be amazing when I got there, I looked at, what were my thoughts and my beliefs around hitting that income goal? What was it that I thought that it would bring me that really I desired behind the number? Because at the end of the day, a number is just a number, right? And what I wanted was to have freedom. So I was like, okay, you want freedom, but what does that mean? Like specifically, what does that look like for you? And for me, that's always been freedom to create, as well as freedom to rest and freedom to play. Like this is my happy zone when I'm doing one of these activities. And so I just started doing those things to the best of my ability in the present. And, when I look back, I really see that whenever I align with my next level results, it's always because I'm doing that, because I'm not seeing it as something in the future that I'm like working towards, or I'm sacrificing now so that I can have my dream later. It's when I start to live my dream now that I start to create my dream results now. So, I was saying yes to everything that I desired. I was saying yes to resting. I was saying yes to not working much. I was saying yes to opportunities, paid opportunities that were aligned, that came my way, which more came when I started saying yes to more of the other things, including the mindset work. I said yes to working on, bringing a video project together and creating time for that and collaborating and having so much fun doing that. I said yes to social events. I said yes to taking care of my health. I said yes to working with healers. I said yes to doing the deep shadow work that was coming up for me as a part of that journey of letting go of whatever it was that had been, holding true that what I could have wasn't available to me. That stuff all had to purge and be released in the process of me opening up to receive the things that I desired. So I was saying yes to all of it. The joy, the fun, the creativity, the freedom, the hard work, the showing up regardless, the resting, the self-care, all of it. And sharing my story and doing the work, letting people know, inviting people to work with me, taking the sales actions, doing all of it, but not from a place of burning out and pushing and hustling. As you can see from what I've said, it was, yes, I was taking all of the aligned actions and only the aligned actions. I wasn't hustling. I wasn't doing busy work. I wasn't pushing. I wasn't staying up late. I was making sure that the self-care was there. I was making sure that the things that I desired in my life, I was a yes for. And then money and my goals and my dreams and my desires were a yes for me. And I became a match for that. And that's how it happened. So I said yes to the money that I wanted. I said yes to the breaks and the downtime I wanted. I said yes to the creative expression and the time on music and video projects. I was a yes to all of it. And I just happened to attract in a lot of copy contracts in my copywriting business that month and a lot of clients in my coaching business that month. And I also launched some group programs. I believe I had a membership going at the time too. So I really was a yes to all of it, but not in a way. And this is that weird, I noticed this when I hit my really big next level goals, is this phenomenon happens where I say yes to more things, but I don't feel as tired. I don't feel drained. I don't feel resistance. I don't feel burnt out. I don't feel stressed. It's like when I'm a yes to what's aligned for me and what it is that I truly desire and is exciting for me, my capacity grows. So suddenly I'll take on way more clients, but I'll feel more spacious and free in my downtime. This always happens. It's a weird phenomenon. And, and I think this is an important message for multi-passionate people who often have a lot of projects and often a lot of passions and desires and things that we want to be working on. Sometimes it can feel very easy to fall into feeling overwhelmed, feeling busy, and feeling burnt out, thinking that we're saying yes to everything that we desire, whereas actually what's true more often than not that I've seen for myself and that I see for my clients is actually we're more in resistance to what we desire and we're replacing it with busy work because we're afraid to say yes to the thing that we truly desire because of whatever's there, like some sabotaging pattern, some belief that it's not safe to have it really good and to have it really fun, or we're afraid of the success, or a part of us is in resistance to the money or the extra clients or the extra visibility or whatever it is that we think is involved with receiving that desire. And so we tend to bury ourselves in, I'm just going to make a to-do list 50 pages long and spend all of my time doing that and feeling stressed about it, feeling like it's hard and really not feeling in alignment, versus just saying yes to what feels aligned right now at this moment, whether that is taking a nap, whether that is calling a friend, whether that is doing a live stream, whether that is writing a sales page, whether that is designing a program, whether that is putting our prices up, whether that is taking a 4-day long weekend, whether that is taking an entire day off for a creative project, right? Only we know what's truly in alignment for us. And it's always that thing that feels expansive and exciting, even if it feels scary. So that's why it's so important to be doing that mindset work consistently, is to really get to know the difference between this is an aligned yes for me, or this is kind of like a safety to-do list plan that somebody else said is the way that I'm going to get there, that feels safe and secure and allows me to hide out from the real yes, because I'm afraid of what will happen if I say yes to the real yes. So let me know if this is resonating with you, because this is how I quantum leaped. And, this happened whenever I'm in this energy in my business. Random opportunities come from nowhere that I never could have planned, I never could have taken action on, I never could have hustled for, right? It's like the universe and the stars aligned, and poof, opportunities show up that suddenly make it so much easier for me to hit my goal. So really aligning with the desire, giving ourselves permission to go after it, having that consistent focus, focusing on it every day, doing the mindset work, doing the cleanup. Where do I not believe this is possible? Where am I in resistance to this? Where do I think that this has to be hard, or I have to do something that I don't want to do to get it? Shifting all of those stories, giving yourself permission to shift into the dream life now. Do your dream life to-do list. This is what I always talk about with my clients. Like, make the list of all the things that would be your dream life if you could do them every day, like the things that make you feel really good. And then that's your business strategy. Like, that's your plan. Align your business offers, align the work that you're doing, the type of people that you're helping, with the type of work that you would do all day if you had $1 million in the bank. And do that. Like, just do that now. Start saying yes to that now. And obviously take the path of least resistance, aligned action to bringing in the money now. If you've got a program, go all in on it, sell it until it's filled. Get really good at sharing your story, show up, be visible, be in integrity, show yourself being in integrity with the life that you're living, with why what you teach is working for you. And if it's not working for you, work it. Like, go back and work the work that has worked for you in the past that you are now selling. This is the fastest way back into alignment. So if this is speaking to you, and if you are also curious, I have a brand new masterclass called Write Emails That Sell, where I break down the exact copywriting strategy, what I use to share my authentic story to people who are on my email list, that allowed me to get to those 5-figure months without having a ginormous email list, and which I also share on social media to attract people who are the right fit for my offers into my email list. That has continued to make me hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past few years by sharing my authentic story, having fun, giving value, taking a stand for what I believe in, sharing my skills, tools, and resources, and allowing me to have the dream business that's allowed me to say yes to everything that I desire outside of my business. And that is available. I will drop the link in the comments. It's also available on my website. And I also have openings in my Tell Stories That Sell, which I'm running as a private mentorship currently, where we get to work together in one content strategy call each month to outline 4 pieces of sales content that you can use as an email or as a sales post. You can repurpose and reuse it for it to continue to make you money moving forward. And I'm very, very, very excited to be working with you over the long time to share your stories and attract the right people into your dream business. So thank you so much for watching. Definitely tune in next week. I have a very special guest for you. Please reach out to me with insights, comments, feedback, things you would like to hear me talk about more on the show. And I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you next week. Bye. For more inspirational content, head over to my website withsarahmac.com, and please support the show by liking, commenting, and subscribing.